Well, what I can see emerging, the emerging picture I can see in the whole thing is like a kind of a lack of cooperation and collaboration between the electoral umpire and the police. And this is how it goes. We hear about INEC preparing for elections. On the eve of the elections, we see what the police do, what they call show of force, which is supposed to be some
show
deterrent.
their level of preparedness. As it
now, instead of all that, I mean, I don't think the show of force should be necessary. I mean, while preparing for the elections, it appears as if INEC does not carry the police along. Because, I mean, we're talking about deploying materials, we are talking about sensitive materials, we're talking about polling units, securing the polling units and everything. Every step of the way, the police should be involved to the point where both parties agree that, look, these are the flashpoints, that INEC has its own facts, the police have their own intelligence. So even before the polls happen, both parties are on the same page that, okay, these are the flashpoints, deploy this number of police. Okay, in this place, we really don't need so many policemen because, you know, it's going to be relatively peaceful. But from what I can, from what I've gathered in all the discussions, it appears there's a critical disconnect between the two parties. No. And even if there's that collaboration, then somehow, it doesn't work.
You know, there is the interagency, collaborative, whatever, on electoral security. They call it ISIS.
Okay.
That is where INEC and all the security institutions meet and they compare notes. It is one thing to have that. It is another thing that when you break up, each of the institutions to follow up and the wherewithal to also carry out what you have outlined that you are going to do. So at that level, because at the INEC, at the headquarters in Abuja, you have that ISIS. In each of the states, you have that. And of course, you replicate that up to the local government level. Yes, but when it comes to now shopping for the fund with which to carry out this exercise, INEC goes its own way to say, okay, yes, this is what I need. The police go its own way. The army, the Navy, everyone goes, you know, just like that. So it is for all of them at a point in time to come into reality, as I said, and that is why traditionally you have what is called a joint operation room, where all the agencies, especially for security, will sit down and look at, okay, yes, we shouldn't have a glut here as against having deficiency in this place.
So we talk about the operations, yes, we get. But funding, you mentioned something about 30,000 naira per quarter for can you explain that? What's the budget for an average area?
It is sad that I don't, you know, it's not something that we should be repeating. Yes, I was Commissioner of Police in Lagos State here. I was in Force Headquarters and I saw so many things happening. The appropriation done to each police division per quarter is not more than 30,000 naira. And that police division may not even get what is going to use in first quarter until the third quarter. What do you want to do with 35,000 naira?
So it means that the promise of security that the police IG was making to Nigeria is criminally false.
No, you know, expectation, hopes that, okay, things will improve.
How? No, he has his budget. His budget was clear.
Is he even responsible, you know, in churning out
you
a
do
budget?
what is called jacketed budgeting. You are given an envelope and you are asked not to, you know, go beyond this. It is not the IG now, but for the country, for the political leadership to sit down and say, yes, we are ready to have a police.
That can't even run a home without a crisis.
That is
30,000 naira.
Incredible. And that is why you see all sort of things happening, for God's sake. It's not, as I've said, it's not just to lament. Yes, things can improve. But you cannot compare the Nigeria police with police in the US or in the UK. You have said it, that when policemen go on peacekeeping mission, how do they perform well, for God's sake?
So
I worked on secondment as a staff of the United Nations, and I know what I earn per month, minus the allowances that is given to me. And that is why those people those people work in a sane environment. And I want to repeat this. Nigerians may not believe it. I don't think there is any country that is as difficult as Nigeria in enforcing law. Nigeria is the most difficult place to enforce any law. That I want anybody to challenge me. Because we've cited examples before. Even when it comes to investigation and prosecution of cases, you would have spent the whole time investigating cases at the time you want to prosecute, because the law says you must prove beyond reasonable doubt. Your key witness will run away. The other side, that is the criminal side, may go and give him money to relocate from that area. And once you don't see the principal witness, only the policeman cannot carry the case, you know, cannot prosecute it successfully, because the lawyers are also there to defend that criminal. Everything, you know, the police carry, people may not believe it. This is a work I've done for 35 years. The police carry the burden of this society. And everyone must know that it is not about condemning the police, but about looking at the plight of the police to say that, yes, we are ready to have a police.
Now, the cost, I mean, the funding operations is patently inadequate. I mean, that's the picture that has emerged. And then, of course, the issue of even funding for the training of the police.
That is it.
So if funding for the training is inadequate, then the training is also probably inadequate.
We could talk about police recruitment.
As of the time I joined the police, my first station was Shagamu. In Shagamu division, we had what is called a fuel dump. That is a gas station from which you fuel the police vehicles. You have a mechanic workshop with spare parts. And you know, the police get deteriorating. They started balkanizing the police, creating units out of it, funding those units even more than the police, to the extent that to even now fuel your police patrol vehicle is either the DPO or the policemen have to, you know, go and look for a way to fuel that vehicle. So what are we talking about?
New results coming in as announced and declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission. This comes, yes, that is it on the screen. This comes from Osun East. Israel Ajibola of the APC has been announced by INEC to have polled 105,720 votes. Mr. Francis Adenigba of the People's Democratic Party has polled 114,893 votes, which means that the PDP candidate, Mr. Francis Adenigba, is the winner of the Osun East senatorial vote there. We're winning with the figures 114,893 votes. Let's now move to Niger East Senatorial District. Let's have it as soon as, okay, that's it right there. Mohammed Sani of the APC, that's the All Progressives Congress, polled 229,415 votes. Again, Mr. Mohammed Sani of the APC has polled 229,415 votes against those of Mr. Ibrahim Ishaku of the People's Democratic Party, who polled 116,143 votes. Stay with Channels TV. We'll begin to trust us. We'll continue to give you the most credible, the most appropriate results of the elections. Back to the studio here. Some years back, Channels TV did an exclusive exclusive report of police funding.
Police College.
Yes, of the police college, and that was a robust report. What you're telling us corroborates that story. The police gets funded in every budgeting cycle. What fritz away these funds? How does it come to 30,000 naira per polling station, per police station? How does it get there? How does it get so bad?
You said the budget is open. It is not about the Inspector General of Police. It is what the budget office appropriated to the police. By the time you look at whatever is the capital expenditure and whatever, go and divide it with the number of police stations you have. And you will see there that it's not about someone stealing the money. That is what the government has budgeted for the police. Yes, we've been saying, oh, because it's large, the police is large, whatever. Because if you take the figure of the strength of the police, maybe it will, you have to take the Nigerian Army, Air Force, or maybe the three combined together to make that number. Yeah, they've been saying, no, it's because of the number. But, you know, without police, there are three institutions that sustain a democracy. The police is there, the judiciary, and the military. The military is for the defense of the territorial whatever. The judiciary to interpret the law. But the police is the most critical. Without the police, the two other institutions cannot function. And where you have taken them to the back. Yes, agreed. A lot of people have said so many things about the police. The police need to also work to hand that respect back. If we work to hand the respect, I believe that, yes, people will also give us that respect. Then,
all right.
Now, how can the police get that funding now, that improved funding that is desirable, the funding of operations and the funding of the police college, even in the aftermath of Channels Television's report? How can the police get that improved funding?
We must first look at what does it even take to train a policeman. I doubt if anyone can come up with that now, to say this is what it takes to kit and train a policeman, one single policeman, before you now, you know, multiply that with the number you have. Because you need a lot of input together. Not when you are given an envelope and say, oh, you must not, the template is there. On stationery, you must not pass this. On this, you must not pass that. Once you pass it, the budget office will cut it off. And even when the money is appropriated, it is not all what is appropriated that you get. Because some will still be there at the Ministry of Finance. So it is a discussion that you know, the government, our political leaders must face. Yes, they are talking of the police trust fund thing now.
I want you to answer in just a sentence. Is there a political conspiracy against the police to keep it perpetually poorly funded, or what?
The thing is that for you to have a police that you desire in this country, you must have the political backing. If the police can be good as the political leadership want it to be.
All right, that's it. Thank you very much, Mr. Owoseni, former Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, who then moved to Benue State before he retired. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for giving us, informed perspective to the funding of the police and operations of police. We'll go into our news studio now to bring you news track on top of the hour, and at half the hour we'll be bringing you poll stream. Join us again.